Hi everyone, I'm China and welcome back to my channel. Hi everyone, I'm China and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is yet another casual kind of relaxed video. I'm even in my pajamas. So today's video is just going to be to celebrate the release of my new book, The Enchanted Stream, which is book 1 in a new series, the Wolves of Lookout Mountain series. And I'm so excited. I even have the proof copy with me. I'm just so excited to get this book out into the world, and probably by the time I upload this it will already be out in the world, so yay, it's released. So for today's video I wanted to do something similar to what I did a couple months back with Sweet Nightmares, kind of a behind the scenes video. And also like an introduction video, because this is the first time I'm talking about the Enchanted Stream on this channel, aside from like alluding to it and talking about doing NaNoWriMo and other things in past videos. This is the first time I'm officially like mentioning it and telling you guys more about it and celebrating the release date on this channel. So I thought I would do a behind the scenes introduction kind of video. So let's just dive right in. So to start, I kind of want to describe the mood and the vibe that I was going for with the Enchanted Stream and just the entire Wolves of Lookout Mountain series, because the mood and vibe and atmosphere of it is honestly probably 80 or 90% of what got me going on this and what inspired this the most, because I really love atmospheric stories. Like, I really love gothic fiction and just richly atmospheric novels. And so I really wanted to not just have another YA fantasy that was kind of just more about the adventure and more about the action. I wanted something more atmospheric, more mysterious, and having a creepier kind of small town vibe. So I guess if I would describe the sort of tone that I wanted to go for, it would be like a cross between Twilight, the first Twilight book, and like those old spooky middle grade and YA scary, I don't even know how you would describe those, like they're not horror exactly, like those suspense shows from the 90s, like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark and The Nightmare Room, all of those, like a combination of those with a combination of Twilight. So I was going for like the suspense and the mystery and the small town and like the rich atmosphere and the creepiness that goes with the Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark and all those old spooky shows. And then I also, but that's kind of also apparent in Twilight too, and that's one of the reasons why I love Twilight so much. But what also sort of made me want to go for that Twilight vibe is that I wanted it to be, I don't want to say a character-driven story, because it is very much plot involved. I don't know how else to describe it. There's adventure and there's magic and there's mysteries. There's a different mystery in every book, and there's intertwining mysteries, and there's, you know, quests that they have to go on and adventure and all that. But I wanted it to be less about the action. I wanted the adventure to still be there, but I didn't want it to be as prevalent as my Dreamworld Chronicles. I wanted it to be more about Morgan's relationship with the Wolver family over a span of books, and them growing up together and them going on adventures together, and their friendship being the foundation. So where Twilight comes in with that is, I guess you would describe it as paranormal romance without the romance, like more paranormal family or paranormal friendship. Kind of like if Bella met the Addams family and realized that she was a witch, and then they started doing these like magical mystery things together, but there wasn't that aspect of Bella and Edward being over here in love. It was more like Bella with the whole family having this like team of supernatural goodness going on all together. That was kind of what I was going for. So like small town, secrets, mysteries. The other day I was talking with another author on Instagram, and she was talking about how she wishes there was a genre called supernatural cozy mystery, because there's a supernatural mystery genre and there's a cozy mystery genre. But as far as me and her know, there's not a merging of the two, or at least in an official way. And so that got me thinking that's probably the perfect way to describe this series, which would be supernatural cozy mystery, because there's the cozy aspect, which is the small town, Lookout Mountain, and all the atmospheric details that goes into that. And then there's the mystery aspect, because each book has a different mystery. There's suspense, there is a villain, there's a lot of different dark underlying things. And then there's also supernatural, because Morgan is a mage and she has powers, and the wolves of Lookout Mountain obviously are werewolves. So if I could somehow combine supernatural cozy mystery, that would be a perfect way to describe that. So that's definitely the tone and the vibe that I was going for. And I just wanted it to be, I wanted there to be lots of cool magic and a cool magic system and an interesting mystery and a series of adventures that they go on, because I love that in all my books. But at the heart of it, I wanted the werewolf brothers, as well as their relationship with Morgan, to shine the most. And so that's really what I was going for. So either one of those analogies I just mentioned, you can sort of combine them all and come up with a conglomeration, and you get the Enchanted Stream and the Wolves of Lookout Mountain series as a whole. And another thing I wanted to mention are some specific things in the series that are for no reason at all other than their quirks about me, that just things that are special to me and things that I wanted to incorporate because I love them so much. And one of those things is I set the series in 2004 because I am extremely nostalgic about the early 2000s. I always say if I had a time machine, I would go back to the early 2000s because that's like my nostalgic time. So I set the setting in 2004, and a lot of that is evident in the book, like the fact that there are cell phones, but they don't really do much except call and maybe text, maybe if you're like a wealthy person, and like internet that you can't use without waiting a million hours for it to dial up, and foods like Go-Gurt tubes and like kid cuisines, and you know, stuff like the new Harry Potter book coming out, and the new Harry Potter movie coming out. I think it was Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah. And just all these sorts of details that sort of go hand in hand with that time period and that year and that whole early 2000s vibe. The clothes people were wearing, all that kind of stuff, like the wide leg jeans and cargo pants and layered shirts, like t-shirt with long sleeve under. I still wear that actually, probably because I'm so nostalgic. So that's one thing. And then another thing was setting it in Lookout Mountain. And Lookout Mountain is really, really special to me because it's like right where I live. And it's the prettiest, most scenic place I've ever been to. And I just love it so much. There's something so charming and enchanting about it. And when I was thinking of a place to set this story, I immediately thought of Lookout Mountain because the entire Lookout Mountain, or most of it anyway, is fairy tale themed. So when you're going on like the residential streets, they have these names taken from storybooks, like Peter Pan Road, which is where the Wolvers live in the story, and Red Riding Hood Trail, and like Elfin Road, and oh, there's one that's really funny. It's like Wood Gnome or Forest Gnome or something. Like all these street names have storybook characters, and it's just so cute and it's so charming. And then like Rock City is right there, and that's also fairy tale themed. And so the whole thing has this cute, charming, magical, whimsical vibe. And I thought that would be perfect for the atmospheric thing I was going for. Perfect to also have a sort of creepy, dark undertone to go with all that fairy tale whimsicalness. So that was something that I was immediately excited about. I was like, okay, where do they live? Oh, Lookout Mountain, done. It's one of my favorite places in the world, and I love it. So I had to have a story set there. I just love looking at it. This book, for some reason, has just really like hit me in the chest hard. Like when I got Sweet Nightmares, the proof copy, for the first time, I was very emotional. I was like, okay, wow, this is happening. I am becoming a writer. I have my book in print, and it was like, it was indescribable. But this book was an entirely different feeling. This book was so surreal, even more emotional than Sweet Nightmares. And I don't know why. I think it's because this story is so, so special to me. All my books are special to me, but this story is like, well, it's just been with me for a long time, and I've always, always, always wanted to write this. I've always wanted to write about the Wolver family. So, leading into my next topic, we're going to talk about what inspired, well, no, we already talked about that. Okay, we're going to talk about where I got this idea. So where the idea of the 5 brothers and the werewolves and all of this came into play. So like I said before, everything really comes back to the Wolvers. This family of 5 werewolf brothers. They are like my babies. They're the cutest. They're the sweetest. I love them so much. Everything comes back to them. So this whole story actually started with the idea of a werewolf family of 5 werewolves, and they lived together, and they were like this family, and they were good werewolves. That was always the thing I had in mind. They were good werewolves. They were more human than anything. They were very in touch with their humanity, and they were just trying to live normal lives, and while also, you know, dealing with the fact that they are not normal because they are werewolves. And so the concept of that has always been with me, probably for a few years. I've had that like in my notes off to the side, and I never really did anything with it. And then when NaNoWriMo came along, I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to just try it and see where it goes and see what happens. And before then, I had never gotten very far with planning it or, you know, outlining it or anything like that. It was literally just an idea of these 5 brothers being werewolves. And when NaNoWriMo came and I started writing it, it just all fell into place. Like, immediately. I thought about Morgan. I thought, okay, she's gonna be like this, she's gonna move to this town, she's gonna encounter all these creepy things, and then she's gonna meet the Wolvers, and then they're going to like foster this friendship. And that immediately came to me, like that's immediately what I wanted to happen. So it all really fell into place pretty quickly. But then as I was writing it, of course, more details showed up. I, you know, thought more about the magic system, and I wanted the magic system to be unique because there are a lot of witchy books out there, and sort of in the vein of this, like a small town and there's witches and all of that. There are a lot of books out there like that, and I wanted my magic system to be a little bit different. I wanted my magic system to, again, be like a smash up between cozy mystery and supernatural, because my magic system has two sides. There's the science side and then there's the baking side, and they're intertwined all the time because obviously baking is a science. But the magic system is not typical. It's very much involving a lot of chemistry, a lot of formulas, chemicals, everything that is part of science. So it's not just about, you know, like my previous magic system for the Dreamworld Chronicles is more, I guess you would call it, I don't know, soft magic. Like, I don't know, it's more, it's thought magic, so it's more like, what's the word? I don't even know. Well, it's imaginary because it's the power of imagination. But in Wolves of Lookout Mountain, the magic system is very much more factual, but it also is magic at the same time. So a lot of things are not as, you know, scientific as, you know, science. And then there's also the baking aspect, which is perfect for Morgan because she both loves chemistry and baking. And with the magic system, there is a lot of cooking and making desserts and baking involved. So it's like a combination of cozy mysteries and supernatural regular witch stories. So I wanted that to happen. And then another thing that I really wanted to do with this series is I wanted it to be more of a serial type thing. And if anyone doesn't know, I'm probably not very good at explaining, but to my knowledge, a series is a series of books that spans one overarching plot, all in the same universe, following all of the same characters, like Harry Potter, for example, or, you know, the Twilight series, or the Twilight Saga. Yeah, just any series that is all about the same characters and their journey toward an overarching something, if that makes any sense. I'm not good at explaining, but you can just think of it like the Harry Potter series. And then a serial is more like an episodic thing, where you have maybe the same universe and maybe the same characters, but each book is a different story, each book is a different adventure, a different case to solve, a different something, like Sherlock Holmes or the Cat Who books, or, you know, like I was saying before, the Goosebumps books. So that's kind of the feel that I was going for this. I didn't want it to be like this huge sprawling series that's kind of like how my Dreamworld Chronicles series is. I wanted it to be more episodic. Now there are some little plot threads that interweave throughout the whole thing, like Morgan's mother and the werewolf curse and their journey trying to reverse it. But every book is a different storyline, and every book is a different mystery that they have to solve or a different adventure they have to go on. And so in that respect, I would consider it more of a serial, but I'll probably call it a series anyway. But it is going to be more episodic style in that respect. series of books that spans one overarching plot, all in the same universe, following all of the same characters, like Harry Potter, for example, or, you know, the Twilight series, or the Twilight Saga. Yeah, just any series that is all about the same characters and their journey toward an overarching something, if that makes any sense. I'm not good at explaining, but you can just think of it like the Harry Potter series. And then a serial is more like an episodic thing, where you have maybe the same universe and maybe the same characters, but each book is a different story, each book is a different adventure, a different case to solve, a different something, like Sherlock Holmes or the Cat Who books, or, you know, like I was saying before, the Goosebumps books. So that's kind of the feel that I was going for this. I didn't want it to be like this huge sprawling series that's kind of like how my Dreamworld Chronicles series is. I wanted it to be more episodic. Now, there are some little plot threads that interweave throughout the whole thing, like Morgan's mother and the werewolf curse and their journey trying to reverse it. But every book is a different storyline, and every book is a different mystery that they have to solve, or a different adventure they have to go on. And so in that respect, I would consider it more of a serial, but I'll probably call it a series anyway. But it is going to be more episodic style in that respect. What else? So that's pretty much what inspired me to write this book, what the initial idea was, what the tone and vibe I was going for was. And honestly, this was like the funnest book I've ever written. The most excited I was to write a book, the most joy I felt while writing a book. Of course, writing is always hard, and there were a lot of lows during this book, especially since I was writing it during NaNoWriMo, and it was my first time ever doing NaNoWriMo, and I totally didn't know that it was gonna end up being really, really challenging. So there was a lot of struggle, but it was also the most joyful I've ever felt writing. And I'm just really, really fond of this book. I love it so much. And it's weird to think that it's out in the world, because I don't know if you guys remember or if you saw the previous video, but I think it was when I did the tea time chat video and I was telling you guys that I was doing NaNoWriMo, and I said that this book was going to be just a book for me and that I didn't have any plans to release it. And I mentioned that, you know, I figured that it was going to be something that only I would like, my quirky little self. Well, as you can see, I did end up eating my words and releasing it. But I've been surprised, though, because I have sent the book out to some ARC readers and gotten their feedback. And it's been crazy how positive it's been and how much people have liked this book, because honestly, like, I didn't think that people would like this book as much as I do. And it's funny saying that, but it's true. Like, I wanted to put it out and I wanted to release it, but I didn't have any expectations or any, you know, feelings of, I hope people like this. It was more just like, I'm putting this out there because I want to put it out. It's a quirky little book for me, and if people like it, they do. If they don't, they don't. So I've been very surprised to hear some of the comments I've gotten back from ARC readers, and it's been really great, some of the things they've said, because they've sort of echoed really what I was going for and what my intentions were with the entire feel of the book. And so I'm really happy and really excited, so excited, and so excited to continue the series as well. I already have the cover for book 2, and I'm about 30K into book 2. If all goes well, that should be out 4 months from now in June. Really, really, really excited to continue the series. I don't know how long it's going to be. I said in an Instagram post that I feel like this could end up being a 10-book series. And it's true. It's true. I'm not planning for it to be that long, but if it ends up that long, I really won't be surprised. But if I had to give a specific number right now, the way I'm feeling, it would be probably like the Dreamworld Chronicles, so around 5 or 6 books. It could be longer, but I don't think it'll be less. I don't think it would be a trilogy or something. I feel like this series is gonna be a longer one. And I'm so excited. So excited to continue it and to grow with this series and to develop it. Especially since I'm almost done with the Dreamworld Chronicles series. And that's crazy and surreal, but exciting at the same time because now I'm starting this new series. So, that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll pick up a copy of the book, and if you do, I hope that you enjoy it. And I think that's all I have to say for now, so I'm gonna go now, and thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to know every time I upload a video, although it's not that often. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.